Welcome to Actions Speak Louder, a new program about Dominion Energy's projects and community involvement. My name's Peggy Fox, and I'm Dominion Energy's Media and Community Relations Manager in Northern Virginia. Dominion Energy is committed to sustainable, reliable, affordable, and safe energy. We are focused on reducing emissions and achieving our goal of net zero carbon dioxide and methane emissions by 2050. Actions Speak Louder is our motto because it's what we do that will get us to net zero. It also reflects our commitment to serve our customers well by providing safe and reliable electricity and energy. Serving our communities well means providing support. A big way we do that is through a program called EnergyShare. And I'd like to introduce our guests who have seen EnergyShare literally change lives. Nikki Taylor, joining us on Zoom, is Dominion Energy's Program Manager for EnergyShare. And David Levine is the President and CEO of Good Shepherd Housing here in Fairfax County. Thanks both for joining us. Now, the other component, let's talk about EnergyShare. First of all, Nikki, can you tell us what EnergyShare is?
Sure. Hi, everyone. EnergyShare is Dominion Energy's year-round energy assistance program. We have three components that consist of bill assistance, weatherization, and outreach and education. So we've been around since about 1982. We started off as a bill assistance program in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, and we help people with their heating costs. Since then, of course, we've expanded and we now cover cooling costs as well. In addition to that, we also provide free energy efficiency upgrades. So not only do we help you with your energy crisis with your bill assistance, but now we're also providing long-term, more sustainable savings on your bill that will help you better manage your energy costs for the long term. That education and outreach, you'll see us out in the community doing things similar to this, actually, talking to the community about EnergyShare, letting them know the resources that are available to them. And it's a great program, and we're able to assist a lot of individuals and their families out in the communities and work with some pretty great organizations.
Great cue for David Levine, who chairs or is the CEO of Good Shepherd Housing. And we said I had the opportunity of meeting you at our community advisory board, which was involved in this weatherization grant that Nikki was talking about, which really helps. Could you tell us a little bit? First of all, tell us a little bit about Good Shepherd Housing.
Sure. No, thank you, Peggy, and thank you for this opportunity to talk about the weatherization grant and the impact on our residents and our housing. So Good Shepherd Housing is a 47-year-old affordable housing and homeless services provider. We are based in Fairfax County. Our service area is along 15 miles of Richmond Highway in the southeastern corner of Fairfax County. We provide 107 units of service-enhanced affordable housing in that area along the 15 miles of the highway. We target low-income working families and individuals who are really struggling to get into affordable housing. And once they're housed with us, we provide them case management support, referrals to other community-based service providers, resources and services, and also we help them with one-time financial assistance if they need it when they have a crisis and they are struggling to stay in their housing. In fact, we also cover all the school costs for all the school-age children living in our housing. So all the costs related to school supplies, bus trips, tutoring, summer camps, we'll take care of that for them.
Wow.
And all told, also with our homeless prevention program, I should mention that too, we actually provide financial assistance to people in the community to stay housed. So all told, we help, between our housing program and our homeless prevention program, we help about 650 households a year stay in their housing and make sure that they can move on to long-term permanent housing.
What a great organization. I had the opportunity to meet one of your residents, and she had been homeless, and it was Good Shepherd Housing that got her back on her feet.
I'm Lisa Jones, and I live here in Colchestertown, and we've been here in this apartment, actually around the corner, for 2 years this month. My family and I were actually homeless before we moved into our apartment.
Colchester Town Good Shepherd Housing and Family Services buys condos, and then we rent them at an affordable price. Our price for a 2-bedroom condo is $1,200, and that $1,200 is affordable to somebody who makes $20 an hour, works full time. It's a good job, but if you're a mom and 2 kids, you can't afford market rate for a 2-bedroom apartment.
You know, I try to tell people that homelessness doesn't look like people we may see on the street who are panhandlers, or homelessness looks like also people like me. I'm a very hardworking person, I'm middle class, and where we lived at a few years back, I had signed a 3-year lease agreement, and halfway through the lease, I started having financial issues. I ended up being homeless with them because I couldn't pay anything. We had nowhere to go. I had no place to live. So between living in a hotel and paying for a hotel because I was getting paid every 2 weeks, or sleeping on somebody's couch, it's hard when you have all this stuff that you have to put in storage and then you have a child in tow. She was in high school. I needed her to understand, mommy and me and you are in a situation right now. You're going to be safe because I'm going to do whatever it takes for you to eat and have shelter over your head. But as parents, the background piece of it is that what our kids don't know is that I went without eating. I went to make sure that I had enough money that I had a place for her, or paid somebody to sleep on a couch. You know what I mean? So, you know, your eating habits kind of change because you don't eat as much because you're trying to make sure your family is good. But, you know, it's okay. I mean, I cried and I had support from my friends emotionally, but at the end of the day, you have to be strong. You have to know that it's, you know, on the other side, it's going to be better. You may go through this now, but it's still going to be better. So like I said, once we got into the program, officially got into the program, it was literally a couple days before Thanksgiving. And I moved in on Thanksgiving. So every November right now, it's a big deal for us because we came out of homelessness this way.
The Dominion Energy Grant is fantastic for us. It will help us replace old HVACs, and it will help us replace old aluminum windows so that each condo will be more energy efficient, it will be more comfortable to live in, and it will save money for the neighborhood overall so that we will be able to invest in other capital projects that the neighborhood is sorely in need of.
I love my community.
So you learned a little bit there about what the Weatherization Grant did, but David, can you talk more in depth about what a large grant that can help Good Shepherd Housing or another affordable housing organization buy certain items that defray costs? How does it work?
No, exactly, Peggy. So we and our residents truly appreciated the Weatherization Grant that we received last fall. With the grant, we were able to make upgrades in 40 units in one community, the community where the woman in the video where she lives, and that community is called Colchester Town. And we were able to make upgrades to those 40 units, and it included such things as installing new HVAC units, sliding doors and glass windows. We installed new LED lighting. And we also are doing now, we're finishing up, but we're installing duct insulation to help create greater energy efficiency in the units. What it means for us is that it makes a world of difference because it means that we can save on energy costs, on the operating costs that we have to pay to maintain the units. And that's a big savings. We think it might be as much of a savings as 30% or so. So it's going to be a huge savings for us. And that helps us to be able to sustain the units as affordable housing. And that's really key because we want to look for ways of keeping this affordable, keeping these units affordable in the community to help more people. And the grant really allowed us to do that because just by reducing our costs, it means that we're able to sustain them for longer.
You know, it's so difficult in this area too to find affordable housing. And I know that the price of houses has really skyrocketed even recently because of the pandemic. Everybody wants to live in a house and they're, you know, or just whatever is going on. And has that put pressure on you all even more?
Oh, it has, because it's also translated into higher rents too.
Okay.
because people can't find housing because it's unaffordable. What they do is they look to rent. And so the rents in the area are really going up. And that makes it so much harder for us. It makes it also harder for our residents to move on because they're living in our affordable housing and they'd like to move on to other housing down the road. And because they've spent time with us at Good Shepherd Housing, they're in a much better position to do that. They've saved up money, their credit's improved, they're in a much better place financially. But the problem is they can't find affordable housing. They can't find anything that they could afford because the rents have gotten so high. So it kind of, the problem sort of, kind of steps down and kind of affects us and affects our residents in a big way.
Well, thank you for all the work you're doing.
Well, thank
Energy,
you.
and all the wraparound services too, because it's difficult. If someone in your housing loses a job or has another kind of crisis, you're there with some case management to help.
Absolutely. All the residents receive the case management services, which are really important because you can't just, what I say is you just can't warehouse somebody and put them into housing and expect good things to happen.
Right.
It really does take the support of a case manager, connecting them to larger community services, and we do get results. 90% of our residents will end up more self-sufficient and ultimately in greater stable housing because of us.
That's wonderful.
And I can tell you even a story. One year we had 4 different families in just 1 year move out and purchase homes and secure their housing that way. So they actually were able to finance a home for themselves. And that's just amazing because they came into our program with wrecked credit, no money, and they had jobs, they were all working, but they weren't making much money. And just over a few years, they're able to get into a position that they could finance a housing purchase, which is just incredible.
It's incredible. Wow, that's just great work. So I know that your units offer, you cover the utilities. You cover the electricity costs. But for residents out there, Nikki, who many people have been in crises this year, losing their jobs and just the year of COVID brought so much misery and crises for people. If people need bill assistance, what do they do to take advantage of our EnergyShare bill assistance program?
Well, the easiest answer to that would be that they call 211. So 211 is sort of like a phone book, if you will. You call them, let them know exactly what you're looking for, and they will provide you with the phone number of your local EnergyShare intake agency or other resources that you might need. A lot of times it's not just utility assistance that you need. You might need rent assistance. You might need a food bank, food pantry, something along those lines, child care, elder care. So 211 would be the best method to find who to get in contact with. We have just under 100 EnergyShare intake providers, our partners around our service territory who help those in their communities, and they know what the needs of their communities are. So that, or if they do have access to the internet, they can also go to our website at www.dominionenergy.com/EnergyShare, all one word. And we have a list of our partner agencies out there, and they can look through our website by locality and find the contact information for who to reach out to.
Well, Nikki, I wanted to tell you that I had the opportunity to meet another recipient of a Dominion Energy Weatherization Grant, and she's a grandmother named Carol Johnson, who is raising 5 grandchildren in a small house in Fauquier County. She was doing fine until her roof started leaking. That's when the Fauquier County organization Community Touch got involved and reached out for support from Dominion Energy. Take a look.
Tyrone Champion, Director of Community Touch, and we're here today to replace the roof for Carol Johnson. She told me when it rained, she was putting pots underneath in the house to catch the rain.
It used to be just the leak was over top of the sink, so it was just going in the sink. That was not a problem because it was leaking in the sink. But then all these others started.
Community Touch, we are a nonprofit in Delta, Virginia. We have 2 homeless shelters, food pantry, we pay rents, daycare, so we do a lot of community outreach programs in our area. We discovered that she had some problems with her property, wrote the grant to Dominion Energy. They funded the grant to replace her roof. I think it was great. I mean, the community needs the help. The funding was there, and people need this. She has five grandkids she's raising, so it's really important for her to have a solid roof.
Right now, I am the grandmother of all 5 of these children.
What's it like raising 5 kids?
These 5, they go in 5 different directions. There's not enough words to say about Tyrone, the Champions, or the church itself, but I wouldn't have any of it without him. He's top dog, and he has put the bishop and co-pastor in my life.
So we're elated. This is only one of the projects. We have 5 other projects that you're doing for us, Dominion is, and so we're happy that changing lives through your program.
God listens. He answers prayers. They may not come when you want them, but they do come. And they may not be what you actually ask for. You get what you need, and He provides it.
So Carol Johnson just cannot be more thankful to Community Touch, Pastor Champion, and also Dominion Energy for, supplying the grant, but it was really the connection, So Nikki, I wanted to ask you about, this connection. How do we find organizations like Community Touch, like Good Shepherd Housing, to help us give out these weatherization grants that can do so much good?
So, this time we took a little bit of different approach in how we found weatherization projects out in the community. Usually we get our recipients of weatherization services sort of through the bill assistance method or pathway. And usually, when they get their assistance with their immediate need or their immediate crisis with covering their utility costs, they then can go on and express an interest in receiving free energy efficiency upgrades to their home. Now, we've been doing that since 2015, and this time we took a little bit of different approach, and we looked to our community advisory boards to get some information about what's going on in the communities, what were their ideas as far as how we can create the most impact and really meet the needs of those folks and their individual legalities. So right now, what we're just based off of the success of these programs and these proposals, such as Good Shepherds, we've decided that we're putting together a process right now so that other nonprofits and houses of worship and other entities like that could reach out to us and present their proposals and let us know, what are their ideas for affecting change and creating the most impact in their communities. That process is not quite in place at this present time, but it will be in the very near future, thanks to those like Community Touch and Good Shepherd, where we've seen the phenomenal work they're able to do just by offering additional resources for them to support their missions and thereby support the EnergyShare mission. We've decided to open this up to other organizations.
That's great. I know that our Northern Virginia Community Advisory Board, which David Levine is on, I mentioned before, but we also gave grants to Habitat for Humanity in Loudoun County, and they put some, and I think they may have done some similar things with HVAC replacement and window replacement, and also to the Arlington Affordable Housing, the Partnership for Affordable Housing. also similar. I don't know if a lot of people realize how much benefit replacing an HVAC system can be. I mean, David was talking about it before, but have we seen that across the board with these grants? Nikki?
That is a huge impact to a customer's bill, how efficient their HVAC unit is running, or if they're even using an HVAC unit. We have some folks, I've been in some homes where they're actually using their stovetop and their ovens to heat their home, which you can imagine is not the most efficient
nor safe,
effective way to do that, or safe. So, would you replace an HVAC unit or install an HVAC unit, you're providing a level of comfort and security to those individuals, and they're not running, a bunch of little heating units that are dangerous and can really rise up your energy costs. So that is a significant impact on an energy bill.
Right, but the problem for people with low income is that they can't afford it. They can't afford it, and they can't. Window replacement as well is very, very expensive. That's why, it's just really wonderful that we've got a program that can, reach out, work with organizations like Good Shepherd Housing or Habitat, or, to get the know-how and also get the dollars in there and really make a big difference.
Definitely.
So tell me again, what other needs are we seeing out there that EnergyShare might help with?
There's a lot of need for things like insulation. You'd be surprised how many houses you run into that don't have insulation in their walls. And so all of that energy being used to condition the air in your home is just kind of going right out the window, so to speak. So insulation, general tightening of the home. We have a lot of issues with sometimes plumbing leaks. You'd be surprised how much a leak can actually impact your energy use with your hot water heater constantly running to refill itself. There are a lot of individuals who need roof repairs. We can't go into a home and put that nice new insulation into your walls if when it rains, it's destroying all the inner workings of your home. So that's definitely a huge need. But I will say, above and beyond most things right now, especially as we're going into the warmer summer months, for both health and safety as well as just overall energy efficiency, by leaps and bounds, it's going to be that AC unit and those HVAC units that are going to need that replacement or that servicing.
Right. And David, I don't know, many years ago before you got into this business of running a lot of people's housing, it's something you may not think about other than your own house, but now you're having to, do it tenfold. Exactly. How do you stretch a dollar?
Yeah, no, that's a real challenge, Peggy. We look at, using our money the best we can and making resources last. But things like, just as Nikki said, getting energy efficient units in there really does reduce the operating cost. Also, the other part of it that's really a plus is that they last a long time, because units today are just higher quality than what they were a few years ago. And the other thing that I think is just, you can't really measure it in dollars and cents, is just that you improve the livability of the unit. The quality of the housing becomes very important and just goes up. And I think that livability also makes a difference in people's lives. That people will appreciate the unit more, and they'll respect it more, they'll respect the community more, just because you're respecting them and that you're providing them that kind of quality housing.
Well, I know that some folks talked about the change that Good Shepherd Housing has made there in Colchester,
Yeah.
that it's like night and day,
Yes.
you know, that it
Yeah.
used to be run down and now, but it's amazing how, and you don't own you only own
No,
what, 40
we don't.
units there.
Right, right.
So it's amazing to me how, you know, when you know, one house, two apartments, you know, and they start getting fixed up and people start, you know, realizing this is a nice place, you know, I got to take care of it, and then it kind of breeds off each other, right?
It does, absolutely. And we have seen an improvement in the community itself. And I think people there's more kind of cohesion in the community. People are proud of the community. And I think that just goes back to making the investments. And I think it's so important to always make the investments in these communities.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what EnergyShare is about, right, Nikki? Investing in our communities?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's great. It's really great to share this information. I think there's a lot of people who don't know about EnergyShare, and so you know, it's important to make sure people understand that if they are in a crisis, there is a place to turn where, you know, Dominion Energy will help and you know, get the word out, and also to highlight this great organization, Good Shepherd Housing, and the other ones that we partner with. Just you know, because you guys are out there, you know, and doing the hard work and really helping people and being the safety net for so many people. So thank you for everything you do in your organization.
Thank you for the support. I think it's gone a long way, and it's going to make, as I said, a world of difference to people.
Nikki, tell us, give us one more time where people can go if they're interested in learning about EnergyShare.
Sure. If you're interested in learning about EnergyShare, go to www.dominionenergy.com/EnergyShare, all one word. And if you're interested in potentially getting bill assistance for yourself or your family, please call 211. They will direct you to the appropriate local Health and Human Services that will be able to help you get the benefits that you need to get over the hump.
Well, Nikki Taylor, the manager of our EnergyShare program at Dominion Energy, thank you so much for joining us. And David Levine, the CEO of Good Shepherd Housing here in Fairfax County, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Telling everyone about Dominion Energy's EnergyShare program. I'm Peggy Fox, and thank you so much for watching. Actions Speak Louder.